Hi guys, and welcome to the Friday live thing with me and Tim. Hello, Tim.
Bye, Tim. It's all right. I just need to make sure my phone is on silent because otherwise,
that would make a change. Well, happy Brexit Day, everyone. Tim had a nice little picture that he was going to show us.
Hold on a second. Let's see if I can share. Hold on. Let's share my screen. Hold on a second.
We are actually talk about this. Is the most political you'll see me and Tim ever get, because we're just quite happy our businesses aren't going to be screwed up today.
You might need to show that. I don't know whether you.
No, I'm showing it. There you go, man. I like that. Oh God, I would like to apologise to the whole world and say, guys, really sorry, our parliament is so bloody weird. And please, New Zealand, can we have your prime minister?
I know. We'd love to have somebody with compassion.
God, can you imagine that? We don't do politics.
No, we don't do politics. No,
we're sensible people.
So what are we talking about today, Mark?
Sorry?
What are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about the stuff we didn't talk about last week.
Yeah, because you made me
one topic last week. So the plan is we're talking about structuring your websites. Okay, then we're going to talk about. You want to talk about Animoto? Actually,
that's just reminded me of something.
Okay, maybe we might not even cover these then this week.
No. It's a real short thing. So it's actually a useful tool that's come from Google. But I've gone finish off what other things.
Then we're going to talk. You'll look at Animoto and probably 4 email sequences. And in Serious Marketers Only, in the foundation this week, I posted the first stage of a case study where I just put up some random pop-ups. Right, they weren't designed or anything like that, and I've got the results for that, so I'll share them towards the end. And by the way, thank you to Mark Davidson for recommending Relay That on AppSumo. Great tool. That is going to improve my pop-ups no end if I can work out how to use it. Hi, Kevin. How are you, mate? I tried to have a day off yesterday. I got 10 messages from Kevin.
God, it's a quiet day.
It was a quiet day. Sorry, Kevin. Right. So we're going to talk about. What are you going to show us?
Well, it's actually not really showing, but basically Google, for all of our love and hatred of our love-hate relationship with Google, they do actually provide some really, really great information. And one of the things I've come across is that they produce playbooks for different types of sites. So they have a Google playbook for e-commerce sites. They have a Google playbook for lead gen sites, a Google playbook for travel sites, finance sites, and news sites. And basically, it's a PDF. Yeah. And what it does is it talks about what they're looking for, best practice. And they've done it in a really, really nice way. And I'm going to see if I can dig out the one which I downloaded or looked at the other day. Hold on a second, which was obviously for me was for e-commerce. I'm going to share my screen again. So give me a second. And what I'll do is I'll see if I can dig out the actual URLs for this, so that everybody in SMO's foundation can actually dig this out. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yeah. If you stick the link in the foundation, everyone have it.
Yeah, cool. Got it. So basically, this is the UX playbook for retail, so essentially for e-commerce. And what it talks about is what they're looking for, essentially what they're looking for an e-commerce site. So like the different things that are the most important things. So to do with landing pages, navigation, search, how you structure your category and product pages, and also things like the checkout and the cart process and the form optimization as well. And then what it does is it gives you best in class. So it shows you, does my site provide what users want? And it says this provides a clear call to action, which is a search, a clear value proposition, order today, collect tomorrow. So value proposition and all that. And there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of examples for each one. for each thing. So then it goes into detail about the playbook at a glance for homepage and landing page, what you actually need to do, what the thing is that you actually need to do, and then it gives you yet more examples.
Oh, that is brilliant.
And I say, probably one of the best things I've seen come out of Google in terms of actually useful information about how a site should be set up and structured for Google. So definitely well worth having a look at. What I'll do is I'll dig out all the links that I can find for all of the playbooks. Oops, let's go into Inception. Hopefully that's going to be of use to some of you guys. I say it's for me, for e-commerce, I tick quite a lot of the boxes, but there's some stuff I was like, oh, I could make a change to that, or I need to adjust that slightly, and on my own site. So that's kind of where it might be of use to you. So I will get the links. Don't let me forget, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, on something similar and sort of touching on site structure. So we haven't really gone that far off track so far. I rewrote one article about 4 weeks ago. Okay, that's now ranking way better. I'm now ranking for, I think it's now up to about 190-ish keywords. When I checked today, an extra 190 keywords I'm ranking for. Traffic's up. I know somebody in the foundation said to us, or posted yesterday, that they had followed that. I've got sort of tips for rewriting an article, and they're now ranking number 2. So definitely go back and visit your content. It's vitally important. If you want to rank, it's vitally important. Another thing about ranking, Ahrefs yesterday published a blog post, a sort of in-depth case study on basically why you don't have to worry about ranking number 1, because the site at number 1 quite often doesn't have the most traffic, and it doesn't rank for the most keywords. And the thing is actually ranking for keywords, and that is by structuring your content correctly. The longer your content, the more keywords you're going to rank for. I'm amazed at how many keywords some of my articles rank for. 800 keywords.
Wow. So basically what we're saying is you're looking not necessarily for search volume for a single keyword. What you're looking for is how many keywords in total can you rank for, which is actually more important.
So if you're writing about best blue widget reviews, so you're covering best blue widgets, blue widget reviews, best blue reviews. But Google's algorithm now is so good, and they do put out a lot of stuff. I still haven't worked out how to use Content Studio though. So
no, I haven't either.
That just blows my mind. It's way above my level.
I say some of the other stuff that is coming down the line for Google is I've seen a lot more talk about the what's the optimized pages for mobile. AMP, is it? Accelerated Mobile Pages. Yeah. And they're actually starting to go deeper than just using having, say, for example, like a specific landing page working for accelerated mobile pages. What they're looking for is integrating with sites like Amazon or a travel site and things like that, so that what actually appears in the search rankings is actually somebody can actually do make a transaction on the Google search page, so they could literally check out of your store through Google's search results. Does that make sense?
Cool.
So it's kind of like what they're trying to do is they're kind of trying to cut out the whole process. To a certain degree, they're trying to cut out Amazon. Say for example, if Shopify set up so that you had accelerated mobile pages in a certain format, so your product pages in a certain format, and because Shopify has a very specific checkout process, they could easily integrate with the Google search rankings for a particular product type and have your checkout button essentially on the search pages, which means that people wouldn't have to leave the search listings to actually make a purchase, which blows my mind. But it's like you can see where it's going towards in terms of having a much more structured way of doing it, and then giving preference to those people who are using those types of platforms.
That's pretty cool. So anyway, let's talk about a little bit going from that. And let's talk about the structure of your site, because this is really important. Now, at the moment, you usually have either your blog on the front, a landing page on the front, sales page on the front, and blog at the back. Okay. One thing I'm testing at the moment, and it's actually going quite well, is I've got a blog and a landing page on the front page. So basically, I just dropped in a section onto the front page that reflects the blog page. So the blog page is already there, but it's just mirrored on the front page between sort of in the middle of the, like, here's a landing page, this is what you're going to get, blah, blah, blah. So that's a third way now of structuring your sites. And the way you structure your site is vitally important, because generally people are going to come in. They're not generally going to come to the front page the first time, but the second time they come to your site, they're going to come to the front page. Okay, so the first time they're going to find you on Google somewhere, or a link to an article. They read the article, okay, like that, go away, come back. I want to see what he's got. They're going to come to your front page. You've got to be aware of what they're going to see when they come in the second time. Are they going to be able to find your blog easily? Are they going to see your blog? Are they going to see your offer? So yeah, it makes think from a customer's point of view how your front end of your blog should look.
It's actually interesting, some of the stuff that I was looking at with the playbook that I showed you a couple of minutes ago. And in terms of, and this is obviously from the perspective of e-commerce, but one of the things that they talk about, and they're quite, almost quite sort of keen on you doing, is having almost graphical navigation to either specific, your top performing products or your top performing categories. Mm-hmm. So making navigation to the information that the end consumer wants much, much easier. So it's literally like, you know, you might have your banner with your main value proposition at the top, but immediately below it, you're giving them a system of navigation that takes them to the bit that they want to go to, whether they're interested in, like, I want to read the blog, or I want to read your offer, or I want to sign up to your list. And I have those as the three main navigational points on the front page, so that, you know, if somebody is on their mobile device, there literally is like they can scroll like literally just once, and they'll see the three different options of where somebody, the ideal prospect, would want to go. So it's interesting, you know, you're talking about having different structures of your front page. And it's like, okay, address the it's almost like the story brand stuff as well, isn't it? It's like, address the thing that your visitor is most likely to want to actually do, whether it's go buy your product or go opt in to sign up to get more information. Yeah.
So I mean, the thing is, if they come, my way of thinking about this is, if they come and they via Google search, they're going to land on an article. Great. Okay. The next time they come to your site, they may want to buy, or they may want to join something. So there's no point in hiding your sales page away at the back of your site. Okay, if they come back and land, and you've got your blog page at the front, you're not advancing your business very much. But on the front page, if you have an opt-in, a link to your store, offer of the day, something that they're likely to want, you're going to probably and hopefully do better. Hi, Tamar. Good to see you back. Obviously back from traveling the world again, looking at sunsets and drinking margaritas. What a hard life. So jealous. Right. So yeah, that's sort of site structure. I mean, the message is, consider what your visitor's going to want on a second visit. Right, so what we're going to talk about now, 4 email sequence, Tim. Actually, no, before we do that, Tim, you say, Mark, how much weight have you lost in the last 10 days?
Couldn't give a shit, Mark. Sorry, no. How much weight have you lost in the last?
I've lost 5 kilos, Tim.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've got 2 pounds now. Woo. I'm going on Instagram. I'm going to become an influencer on Instagram.
You're going to be like Kylie Jenner.
I'm not sure which one that is.
No,
I'm a bit worried about it.
I've no idea which one that is.
Kardashian and Jenner, I do not want to be associated with.
Brilliant. Before I do talk about the 4 email sequence, because that is actually kind of interesting, some of the results we've been getting from it. I also want to talk a little bit about videos, and I've been creating some videos myself. I've had Sam creating some videos. I've had our SMO member Kevin Nairn. He's been doing some videos for us as well. Hello, Kevin. And what I've been doing is the last couple of weeks I've actually just put this out into the wild, because ultimately, you got to test this stuff to see whether it resonates with people or not. And I appreciate the metrics I'm about to give you are fairly vanity metrics, but they're actually kind of instructional. We've been doing various page post engagement ads for a long, long time on Facebook, and generally for a UK audience, it works out around about 10 to 15 pence per engagement. Okay, that's what it's working out. Averaged out over the last 14 days of running a campaign. And that's for a normal post with a normal image and things like that. Yeah. Now, some of the videos we've been creating, they've been short, 15 to 35 second long videos. And we are now averaging at a penny per engagement. And in some cases, half a penny per engagement. So I'm getting obviously 10 or 20 times the engagement for the same ad spend, and that's really good. And that's the cold audiences. Completely, I say cold. They're interest-based targeting kind of things, but actually well worth looking into. And I say it's one thing that I hate doing. I hate creating videos. That's why I've had people like Sam and Kevin helping me out creating the videos for us. But ultimately, it's been doing some good results. So I'm starting to do more.
Yeah, you post one of them in the members group.
Yeah, so I've been using a tool called Animoto, which you probably have all heard of, or a lot of you have probably heard of. I hate a lot of these apps, and a lot of them, they don't really solve the problem that you have. But if you've got an idea of a script for what you actually want the video to say, it's actually relatively easy. I can create an ad now. I can create a video in probably half an hour to an hour, something like that, using Animoto. And I found it's probably the easiest tool for me personally to create to actually have. But I'll post a copy of a couple of the videos in there and the structure of what we're doing. But Animoto has made things a lot easier. It's not the cheapest. It's like $40 a month or whatever it is. But
worth it for that. It's worth it for stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like when I've been creating, I've been trying my hardest to create a video a day myself, just to kind of get me into the flow of it. And ultimately what I'll do is I'll set the set up a system of I'll write the script and then I'll pass it on to somebody else to create the video for me. And because one of the hardest parts of it is finding either image assets or video clips to go in the project. And Animoto is great because it's actually got access to, I think it's one of the major one of the major image tools. What's it called again? I'll tell you in a second when it's loaded. Really speedy Gonzalez as ever. It is Getty. So it's got 1 million stock images and videos that you can actually use from Getty Images. So it's a really nice tool to use. And so I'll post a video of that when I get 5. I have used some of yours, Kevin. Yes. So some of those are in the mix at the moment, being tested alongside some of the stuff that Sam's created and some of the stuff I've created. So, but I will certainly feed back to Kevin with what's worked and what's all that kind of stuff. How long are your ads? I've just been looking in Animoto just now. I've got the longest one I've got is, which is one that Sam's created, which is a a testimonial one, which just fires up very short, kind of like, say things like, a neutral taste that's so easy to drink, tastes so much better than expected, mixes well, great taste compared to other brands, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And those fire up over 2 seconds. The whole video is 48 seconds long. That's the longest one we've created. The shortest one I've created, I think, is 17 seconds.
Oh.
So, yeah, a real mix of stuff.
Yeah.
So what was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh yeah, the 4 email sequence.
Yeah. All right. So before you move on to that, if anybody's watching this and they're not yet a member of our free group, just go to members.seriousmarketersonly.com and you'll find both the playbook that Tim mentioned and his structure for these videos that are getting engagement at 1 penny. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I say quite pleased with that, and you know, it's the reason for, whilst they are vanity metrics in some respects, what it's doing is it's creating engagement with our brand, getting somebody out of, say for example, 1,000 people looking at a video, we're getting something in the region of around about 50% of those people watching at least 3/4, so 75% of the video. So, I'm actually really pleased with that level of engagement. And so if people are discovering our brand, discovering, Lean Greens, that for me is a good thing. And then I can go back and retarget them with more specific stuff or testimonial style ads and things like that. So that's the reason for doing it. It's breaking down the very big audience down to a much smaller audience. That's essentially what we're trying to do with this.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so carry on then. Hang on.
Oh, what size audience? Very interesting, actually. I'm very large. So on the page post engagement stuff at the moment, we're talking 9-10 million people.
Wow.
I'm actually being quite specific with the type of people that I'm targeting as well. So I'm breaking it down to age range, but also quite large audience, interest-based audiences. So, say for example, for our product, we're after a kind of a more affluent buyer. So what we've done is we've targeted every interest which has the word luxury in it.
Well done, Kevin.
Cool. See, that's what you were looking for with this stuff. Is yes, you can have the immediate call to action of go and opt in, which a lot of my stuff still has an immediate call to action. Interesting. One of the things I've done in the videos before we move on to the 4 email sequence, one of the things I've been doing is actually within the video is one of the call to actions I've been testing on the actual video script is like something along the lines of, tell me below how many portions of vegetables you've had today, or comment below and I'll tell you about our latest new customer offer.
So actually, that might work well with a chatbot.
Yes. So the other thing which we've been doing is going, tag a friend and I'll send you the latest new customer offer, stuff like that. And yes, it's a bit engagement baity, and I'm sure Facebook will probably punish me a little bit for it.
Naughty boy, Tim. Naughty boy.
But ultimately, you can then tag in a bot. What I've been doing is I've not even been bothering with the bot. I've just been going every day. I'll go in like every sort of, I'll go first thing in the morning, midday, and in the evening. I'll check to see what comments are on there, and then I'll respond to everybody who's commented. So within the comments, I'll respond, but I'll then also send them a private message with information about our offer. And that's the way I've been kind of converting people to actually sales and new customers down the line. But, not only are we satisfying Facebook's requirement for you to be engaging back with people who are engaging with you, but also I'm actually, forwarding that relationship as much as possible by going, by the way, go here to claim your 10% off your first order kind of new customer offer. So I've been testing different things like that within with those page post engagement ads. But the actual video part has within the video has the call to action, not the text necessarily. And that's worked reasonably well. And we've had some with some decent engagement on them, so which has been good.
That is pretty impressive. It's definitely worth testing.
Yeah, and I say I would never say that this is actually being it's not at a point where I can scale it.
Yeah.
But it's at a point where I'm going, okay, well, this is actually netting some results. I.e., it's not dead as a doornail type advert that, you know. But the thing is, I've been creating lots of them and getting, you know, I think I've had like 3 different or 4 different videos from Kevin. I've had Sam's created 4, and I've created about 5 or 6 different videos, and they've all gone into the mix. And only sort of 2 or 3 of them are actually starting to fire. The rest of them I'm going to ditch and then start again and do another, you know, 5 or 6 on top of that.
Are you actually split testing them in like 3 or 4 ads in one ad? 3
or 4. There's generally always 3 videos within the same ad set at one particular time. It's what I'm doing is, I'm again, like we used to do with the ministry engagement we did a couple of years ago, is I create it as a post on the page first. So I upload the video as if it was just a normal video post on our Facebook page. And then what I'll do is I'll then go into Ads Manager and add that particular post into the ad set as for testing. It's a bit clunky at the moment. Facebook ads has been a bit clunky with which posts it will allow you to actually promote. But I basically, the reason for doing it like that is that you get all of the engagement on one video ad, on one video post, and you get all the social proof, the video views, the likes, the comments, and all that kind of stuff all go on the same post. Whereas if you just uploaded the video through the Ads Manager and then duplicated it across your ad sets, you're essentially creating 3 different posts, which will have, you know, their own amount of likes and comments and shares and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you did it, like I say, post it up onto your page first and then go into Ads Manager and promote that post, that's when you'll share all the likes and comments and shares across all the ad sets that you're running that particular video, that particular post.
That's really cool. I actually really like that. So there's something else that I've been looking at with the ads, so that I might test it out with this and see how that goes. Right. So
I say, sorry, just to kind of like as there's a final caveat on that. It's work in progress. It's testing for me at the moment. I'm not saying that this is the be all and end all. It's just working quite nicely. It's given me stronger indications than some of my other Facebook stuff I've been doing recently. So it's well worth giving it a test, but don't rely on it. And you know, you've still got to go away and do your own testing.
I mean, this is something both myself and Tim do all the time, and that's test stuff.
Yep.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work, but occasionally you get it hits and you hit a home run.
Well, that's
and
the thing.
It's constantly worth. No, wonder what would happen if I did this, or if I did this, or if I mixed this idea with this idea and try it.
I actually, it was. I'm trying to remember who I heard the quote from. I think it was the person, and this. Forgive me for using his name in this, but
Russell Brunson.
No, not Russell. The guy who did the Here in My Garage in the Hollywood Hills. It's my Lamborghini, and I've got my bookshelf behind me. What's his name?
Dan Henry.
No.
Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not his garage, mate.
we know.
I know who garages it is, and it's not his. And you know who it is as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have a good idea who it is. Yeah. Anyway, so the person I've heard this from, I think it's the person who looked after the Facebook campaigns and the video campaigns, the YouTube campaigns for Ty, like a couple of years ago, and he was asked what makes a viral video, and he basically turned around and said, very simply, if you can spend $1 on an ad and get $2 back, that makes it viral. So ultimately, it's nothing to do with the content as such. There's no particular structure. And yes, there is a structure, behind what they're trying to do. But ultimately, the thing that makes something go viral is if you recognize that if you spend $1 driving that video to somebody and it returns $2 in profit or $2 back, then you spend more money on it, which then makes the video go viral. It's the virality of something is how much you're willing to scale it and it still be profitable. That's what makes something viral.
I mean, I've seen loads and loads of courses on how to make your ads viral. And basically that one sentence there is get something that you're making money on and scale and scale and scale. That will, yeah. Right, so 4 email sequence for the
4 email sequence. We'll get there.
We've been doing this for about 2 or 3 weeks now.
So I've been running I ran a sequence before Christmas, a 4 email sequence, which proved very, very profitable for us for getting rid of a bunch of product that was had scratches on the labels and stuff like that. And we got rid of more product than we actually had. What I've been doing with this, and I've mentioned this a little bit last week as well with affiliates, is that I've been sat writing emails and the 4 email sequence just for each affiliate alone. So like I'm creating a campaign for the affiliate, for an individual one affiliate. So what I've been doing is I've been getting on the phone, I've been emailing them backwards and forwards, my Facebook Messenger, finding out stuff about their business, finding out stuff about how they write their emails right now. I've been doing some social stalking to figure out how they engage with their audience that they've got already, and including a lot of the language and tone and all that kind of stuff in the email sequence that I write. And the email sequence is very, very simple in terms of the offer and all that kind of stuff. All we're doing is we're basically going, we're talking about the problem that their audience has. So it might be something like, I've just been contacted by a new member of XYZ gym, and they've been calling me out on how hard our nutrition plan is. And here's the message they sent me. And the message says something like, "Hey, John, I really like your, everything you've done so far, but I'm really struggling to actually do your nutrition plan. It's really tough. I'm struggling to get the vegetables that you tell us that we should be getting in. How can you help me? It's really difficult with a family and kids and blah, 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 and all the other pressures that are around them." And then what we do is the affiliate basically is then going, well, my response to them is we cheat. We have a way of allowing them to shortcut the ability to get some nutrients in. We use a thing called Lean Greens, and we're going to do an offer with them. And it's a short-term promotion, like 15% off rather than 10% off for new customers. But it's only for the next 33 people who actually buy through this link and this promotional code. So that's the first email. It's a address who the customer is, the problems that they have, and put an offer in front of them. And that's it. Really is just, this is the point of difference. This is the offer that we're putting in front of them. And then you go, it's a short-term 4, 5, 6 day email sequence. That's all it is. And all we're doing is then on day 2 going, a whole bunch of people have already taken this offer. Make sure you take action today, because otherwise we're going to run out of these discount codes. And then we have like the second to last email and the last email, basically sort of putting some scarcity in there. And it's true that one of the things, the reason why it works is because it's an offer. We're actually presenting it to the right people who have got these particular issues, but also the scarcity is real. We're actually going, it's only a short-term promotion. And that's what we've been doing, is we've been creating these very, very simple 4 email sequences to actually, having a reason why we're running the promotion, and then, making it a short-term thing or a limited offer for a limited number of people. And that's been working very, very well for us. And we've been running one this week, which is actually for one of our top affiliates, but he's kind of blown his list somewhat because everybody who's on his list takes Lean Greens. But still, we've generated for that affiliate, because I've written the emails for him, I've generated him an extra £250 in the last 4 days in affiliate commissions. Just because he's happy, his clients are happy because they're getting a great offer, and we've got new customers on board as well. And we're happy as well because we're still making the margin that we need to make. So, people keep on telling me, oh yeah, well, you know, you got to do bots, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like, well, no, actually, if you've got an audience on an email list, that's still a way, one of the best ways to engage with the audience that you've got, and to actually deliver offers that they might be interested in buying. The difference, the important bit of the whole sequence is identifying. It's going back to that story brand stuff again. We've talked about this so many times. It's like identifying what journey the customer is on, and it's like, what are the challenges that they're experiencing on the way. So for a lot of, like, you know, our clients, it's like, I'd love to do the nutrition plan, but I find it really, really hard, and I'm really struggling to make it fit because my family and all that kind of stuff has to come first. And you go, well, here's a tool to help you on the way to make that process a little bit easier. It's not the savior, but it's a tool that can help you get better results. And that's all we've done with presenting the offer. And then just make it so it's a no-brainer offer. Tell people about your 60-day money-back guarantee, or whatever guarantee, your risk-free offer that you're actually putting out there, and do that. And the key bit for us is that we've been leveraging our affiliates that we've already got and going, we'll write the emails for you, because if we leave them to write the emails, they'll fuck it up.
Yeah,
and that's
and they haven't got. My God, I can talk and type at the same time. They haven't got the insight and the passion for it.
Yeah, and that's always going to be the challenge. And it's like for a lot of our affiliates, trying to get them off ground zero of like getting the first affiliate commission is really hard. So I've had a conversation this week with a brand new person who is a brand new affiliate for us, who's literally been on for like 2 or 3 days. And I said to him, the biggest reason why affiliates fail with our program is because they don't make any sales at all in the first week or for the first email that they send out, and then they give up. And it's like, I'm taking away that problem. I'm going to write a 4-email sequence for you to send out. All you need to do is just kind of double check the email, make sure it's got the right tone, language, all that kind of stuff, and then just send it out. Trust the process. And at least it then gets the ball rolling with them actually having conversions and commissions coming in, which then means they're much, much more likely to then talk about it more with their audience later on down the line. And that's the reason for doing this, is because ultimately affiliates are, it's probably my own fault that I've been frustrated with affiliates for not doing anything, but because they're not getting the results quickly, because they're not marketers. Most of the affiliates that we have, they're personal trainers. They're guys who are brilliant at delivering great training protocols and great nutrition plans for their customers, but they're not great at the marketing aspect of it. So you've got to try and kind of handhold them and help them through this process a little bit, because they actually have a valuable thing that I don't have. They have a relationship with their audience. That is the most important thing. It's not their ability to market that's important. It's the relationship that they have. And if I can utilize that relationship by helping them along the way with some email content, great.
Cool. Hey, how long will we be doing these StreamYard calls?
Good question. Since about November, October? Yeah,
probably. I've just found the button to comment live as we're talking.
Really?
Whether that's a new option, I don't know. you might have it as well. But bottom of the click on comments, bottom, comment on Facebook.
No, I can't see that.
So it's just me who can do it. Cool.
It's just you.
So too busy driving, not paying attention to all the buttons. Right.
Does that kind of answer? I'm interested to know from the people who are listening and watching right now. It's like, okay, does that help? Does it not help? It's kind of, the 4-email sequence is not just necessarily about the 4 emails. It's not about the 4 emails. It's about the content within those emails, how you're addressing your consumer.
So it is tee it up with the offer, follow up with another bit of information about the offer.
More than likely, and also normally what we're doing is, like, the first email is opening the offer and actually making it an event. as such, giving it a name. So we've been giving things like, let's see if I can dig out one of the names that we've been using. Yeah, introducing the Take a Shortcut Week. As a thank you for being a friend or member of such and such crew, I've arranged with the cool folk at Lean Greens an introductory discount of 15%. That's the way that we presented it. Yeah. It's the email subject line is why is your diet so hard? ? And then the second email is basically reiterating that we've got this offer on and a whole bunch of people are taking it already. But also we've also got this. It answers one of the biggest questions. It's like some crew members have been asking if Lean Greens is one of those meal replacement drinks. The answer to that is no. It's not designed to replace normal veg intake. Instead, it's to help you top up and give you a wide range of nutrients you wouldn't normally get from a normal diet. Okay, so it's answering one of those big questions, or it's something like introduces the 60-day guarantees to make it obvious that it's completely risk-free, their purchase. Third email is like, we're going to shut this down tomorrow. Make sure you get in ASAP. And the last one is like, this is a final warning. Today is the last day of the Shortcut Week promotion from Lean Greens, designed to help struggling parents bridge the gap from where their nutrition is to where their ideal nutrition intake it should be. And here's the details of it. Here's the link, go for there. It's going to shut down at midnight tonight. And it's like, whilst I don't really like those kind of like final warning, shutting down soon kind of things, you still need to actually announce that the offer is going to close. But I don't do it like 20 times like some people do.
Cool. Right. We've got about 4 minutes left.
Hey.
So one thing we've threatened to cover, I want to cover it now, is link building.
Hey.
Okay, because it's quite important. And it's not as difficult as people say. So I'm going to talk to you about my link building process. First off, hang on. Brilliant. I encourage a huge client to use education as a growth tool. They train their JV client staff, major bank, to sell their product, shifted a load more. Yeah. Education as a growth tool is excellent.
But it's education to people who have access to an audience. That's the bit that is, the switch, because ultimately they're the ones who hold the keys. They're the ones who have the valuable audience that I want to reach.
Right. So link building. Here's my process for link building. What I do is I break it into two. I have got the low hanging fruit, which is going to the Warrior Forum, making a post in the Warrior Forum, putting a link in it. I try and get 20 backlinks from free resources. Okay, I'm not worried if it's do follow or no follow. Doesn't matter. Okay, every link is going to give Google a nudge, and they go, okay, well, people are linking back to this. Okay, they're not following it, but they're linking back. Okay, and you need a mix of do follow and no follow to be legitimate. So I will go and try and find 20 backlinks. For example, you can upload stuff to SlideShare. You can upload stuff to Tumblr. You can upload stuff to Quora. You can go on Reddit. Okay, so I try and put a post on Medium. So I try and get those 20 posts, free ones. I'll try and do that in the first week, 10 days, 2 weeks. After that, I then go into Ahrefs and I look, and there are other tools available. I look at who's linking back to my rivals. Okay, so I will go through and I'll analyze all their links. They will be getting links from free resources that I haven't got yet. Like I found one the other day, Diigo, D-I-I-G-O. Okay, so I will go to Diigo and I will get a link. So I'll get the same links as they're getting. I will then see the higher domain links, where they're coming from. So if they're coming from Forbes, I'll look at their article on Forbes and say, okay, how did they get this? And I'll try and reverse engineer other people's links. Okay, so what happens is over time, you build up a whole stable of links. You may find that you may have built up a few contacts. Then when you've done your next article, you can outreach. I know Daniel's pretty good at this now. Daniel's building up a lot of links on all these articles, which he wasn't doing before, because he did that one big article and he made a load of contacts and he got in contact with a load of influencers who linked back to him. So next time he does another one, he can go, hey, John, I've just done another article. If you feel free, link, or if you're happy, link back to it. So it's like a snowball. You just got to start with those 20 easy ones. and then slowly build up your Rolodex. And whenever you get a link, stick it in Google Sheets. Okay, don't use Excel sheets. Use Google Sheets, because guess what happens to your Google Sheets? Google indexes them, or Google scans them. And it finds the links, and it will then index them quicker. So that's really how I do link building. It's not difficult.
Might be worthwhile. I don't know whether you've already done this in the Foundation or even in an SMO Pro. Might be something for Pro rather than for Foundation. Is have kind of like, basically the reason why I say it might be a Pro rather than Foundation is put a list of your top resources for putting for link building for that. Those top
Tim,
20.
you mean the one I started building 2 or 3 weeks ago in there? It's in there. Free link building.
There you go.
So yeah, yeah. So I mean that it's, as I said, it's a snowball process. But once you get a link from somebody, you can usually go back and get another one later. So Tamar's just said, really, I've got no idea. Okay, hang on. Really what? Which bit of the last 46 minutes are you referring to? Oh, we're terrible sometimes, aren't we? Right, so
To our audience.
Right, that's about it. I'm going to get, and I haven't yet worked out, or haven't yet finalised the system for getting all these put up as podcasts as well. But that is on my list of things to do. I've got my list of things to do is like that. I've just suddenly, for the last couple of weeks, I've enjoyed writing. So I spent 2.5 days writing a big article about Thrivecart reviews, which I'm going to publish in a minute.
So is it Easter this weekend or is it next weekend?
No, Easter's end of April.
End of April, is it?
Yeah, the clocks are back Sunday if you're in Europe. Ah, Google Sheets hack. Well done, Ian. My God, Ian, you can be our translator.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we'll find someone to translate for Ian.
Dear.
Right, guys, I think that's about it. Please, if you have anything you want us to talk about next week, let us know and we will talk about it.
Because obviously we can talk about all sorts of like weird stuff, but clearly we make it up as we go along most weeks.
Honestly, we start 5 minutes before we have a chat and we go, what we can talk about? And both of us said this morning, no idea.
No idea. I haven't got a clue.
Exactly. We talked so much about one topic last week. You could go back to last week's stuff and catch up.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, guys. Have a really, really good weekend. Don't forget to put your clock back if you're in Europe, or you'll be late for work on Monday, or you'll be early. I can't remember.
I'm always late.
I'm Betty realizes. Finally. This is the finally. Our gig in our live, conference, seminar, whatever, get together in Marbella. We're going to put it off until autumn time, probably, I reckon, towards end of September, if there's no half terms there or something like that. And the reason for this is very simple. Brexit. Nobody knows if they might be able to leave the country. Don't know if they're going to get back in again. And because of that, it's been postponed to roughly when we were having it. And it will give, if we set it up in the next 4 weeks, it will give you, we can do like payment plans and stuff like that. So you can chuck us €50 a month, it's like, or £50 a month, $50 a month, and it will all be paid for by the time you get over here. And yeah. Sound good?
Yeah.
Right, guys, that's it. Have a great weekend. Bye.